Breaking moments ago, Catherine, Princess of Wales, announcing that she will make her first public appearance tomorrow since this shocking news back in March that she had cancer.
It has taken us time to explain everything to George, Charlotte and Louis in a way that's appropriate for them and to reassure them that I'm going to be okay. As I've said to them, I am well and getting stronger every day by focusing on the things that will help me heal in my mind, body and spirits.
Well, we all remember that day. That was a big surprise, and she has just done it again with this message, much more positive, and this photo released on social media. Beautiful photo taken at Windsor. She says she will attend the Trooping the Colour tomorrow. That is the celebration of King Charles's official birthday, though she writes, quote, "I am not out of the woods yet. I am making good progress." And there, a picture of her standing in the woods, as I mentioned, at their home near Windsor. So anyone, she says, as she continues the statement, going through chemotherapy will know there are good days and bad days. And on those bad days, you feel weak, tired, and you have to give in to your body resting. But on the good days, when you feel stronger, you want to make most of feeling well. Princess Catherine says that her treatment is ongoing and will be for a few more months. Here she is just a year ago at the King's birthday parade. Since then, he too was diagnosed with cancer. It has been quite a year for the royal family. In both of these cases, we still do not know exactly what kind of cancer they are each being treated for. Let's bring in UK media correspondent and royal reporter Neil Sean, covered the royal family for more than 20 years. Neil, good to have you with us. What can you tell us about the nature of this announcement? We had heard that she might be possibly attending this. What about the timing involved here?
Good evening, Martha, from London. What great positive news to start the weekend on, first of all, and wonderful news from the Princess of Wales. Now, let me tell you, this was always a goalpost, you know, and this was basically the thing that she was hoping to achieve. This was really decided around about late Wednesday afternoon, literally between His Majesty the King and, of course, the Prince of Wales. Both really wanted her to attend, obviously, but it's if and when and how well you feel. And as she pointed out in that message, Martha, it's you have good days, you have bad days. So on Wednesday, you know, yeah, feel great, you know, want to do this. And more importantly, this is all about the closeness, you know, the real love and bond between His Majesty the King and, of course, Princess Catherine. But can I just also throw in this caveat? You know, over here and around the world, there's been some terrible situations, awful things printed, written, discussed on digital platforms about the princess. And I think this was really like a smackdown to those ridiculous, you know, outlandish rumours, that sort of stuff. So that kind of also was part of the goal.
You know, I guess everyone's sort of curious, and while we're talking about this, we'll take a look at last year, not that long ago, as the royal family entered the balcony. So that's going to be one question. Will she be out on the balcony with the rest of the family? Will she be riding in a carriage? What do we think? What do you expect from her tomorrow?
Well, what I've been told so far by palace sources is that really we are looking at the balcony. It all is down, honestly, Martha, to Catherine tomorrow morning. You know, it's kind of how does she feel? Does she want to? That sort of stuff. I think the fans, you know, everybody around the world would be delighted to see her in the carriage. But of course, that then opens a lot more scrutiny, doesn't it? You know, lens cameras, that sort of stuff. And, you know, let's just be honest here. The lady is going to be very nervous. It's her first steps back. Well, whoever you are, it's a daunting thing, you know. Everybody's going to scrutinise you. So I would suspect that we could, you know, definitely 100% look forward to a balcony appearance, ably supported, of course, by the three children, fingers crossed, and, of course, His Royal Highness the Prince of Wales. It's very much a thing about unity, getting her confidence back and getting back out there. As you pointed out, a beautiful picture taken earlier this week at Windsor. So we can see that she looks a lot better. But again, it's all about how you feel on the day, isn't it?
Yeah, and I would imagine they didn't want her to just walk out there because they want to make sure that there will be throngs of people, as there would be anyway, but now probably many more so now. And I would imagine she's going to just get an absolutely enormous, overwhelming response from the people of London and the UK.
You know, you're right, Martha. It's going to be emotional. Let's be honest, you know, I think there's going to be a lot of tears outside Buckingham Palace tomorrow. And I can tell you, as you know, where the press corps is, you know, the whole thing is now sold out. You can't get in. I will be there, obviously, but you can't get in. And that's now created a worldwide interest back in this event. Not that, as you say, it's not popular anyway. But I think, you know, the fact that, you know, I know the King, His Majesty the King, really, you know, had a word with her earlier this week and said, you know, he'd be delighted if she could. But I think she's been inspired actually by him because, you know, obviously we don't know the types of cancer that each individual has, but he's ploughed on and in a sort of bulldog spirit, and that's really resonated with the British public. He's done a lot of good for people who are going through a similar thing. Yes, he has the best healthcare in the world knows that, but it's about personal stamina, and I think Catherine, in the situation that she's undergoing right now, will be inspirational to lots of people who are going through a very similar difficult thing. Yeah. It's, you know, it's a nice heartwarming moment for sure.
Yes. I mean, as far as we know, she's been undergoing treatment since January. So June would make it about a 6-month treatment. But she says she's not out of the woods yet, Neil. Any thought on that before we go?
Yeah, let me tell you quickly. As I told you first here on your show, Martha, I see more or less a full return September, October time. There are fingers crossed about Wimbledon. Maybe she could go to that. But again, it's a very much exposed event for a long period of time.
Indeed. Neil Sean, thank you so much for jumping in with this breaking news this afternoon. And we'll be watching tomorrow for that coverage. Thank you, Neil.